All right, back to tearing apart this 2.8 liter Chevy Colorado motor. Beauty is here. Let me know when you figured that one out. So, see how it goes. Got the front cover off. Got some plastic pieces from the timing. Other than that, timing doesn't seem terrible, but this is obviously where the noise was at. This thing makes... Okay, timing's worse than I thought. So there's that rattling noise when you start it up, and I mean, that's with a tensioner on it right now too, so hasn't skipped yet, but it was about to. Quite a bit of crusties in there. Lack of oil change. Someone mentioned on the last video something about a PCV port or something, probably in the valve cover being plugged. So yeah, keep on going, go further into it and see what we find. I think that's basically it, is timing's going to be messed up and we're going to have some play in the pistons, so that'll probably be the main part. Probably a lot of carbon, maybe clogging up the rings. I don't know if it broke any rings. All these new rings are really hard to break. I think they're steel, so the worst that they do is they get stuck, collapsed, and then the piston rattles up and down in the cylinder. All right, so got the cylinder head off. So a little bit of crosshatch on that one, but other than that, these things are pretty shiny. Crosshatch is basically gone. On the guides, I'm not sure if there was a plastic cover on this, but either way, the chain has caused quite a bit of wear on that guy there. A little bit of rust on the cams while it was running. Figure out what to do with those guys. And cylinder head looks good. No signs of anything weird on it. So, of course, I'll still take it apart and redo it, but it's not going to take much. Just basically clean it up and touch up the valves. Pop these pistons out of here. So when you're taking off these cylinder heads, don't forget there's two down here inside of the head. One more that's pretty obvious. And then through the front of the head, you got your guide bolts. So we got the back side off. Little bit of play. All the tensioners seem to be, or the guides and everything seem to be good. Pull out the counterbalancers, see what they look like. All right, so everything's torn apart. Pretty quick process. Found the timing chain guide inside the oil pickup tube. Not enough to clog it, but close. So I pulled out all the galley plugs. And there's two in the, oh, this is the back. So we've got two back here that are both oil. That way when we vat it, we can wash through here, make sure everything's washed out. We got the counterbalancers pulled out. So shove it in the vat for stage one of cleaning. And then I'll start miking everything and see if I want to go back to, I'll probably bore it out to the next size over, whatever that size may be, 5 millimeter or 50 millimeter, whatever the hell it is. I think it's 5 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter. Probably what we'll bore it out to, but very shiny, not much crosshatch left. So lots of dirt in there. So let's see how the vat does with cleaning it up. So bearings look really good. Look at the frickin' thickness of these things. I've been doing engine stuff for a long time, almost 20 years now. Started a machine shop when I was 13. I don't think I've ever seen a bearing that thick before. Pretty wild. Maybe I should check if they have replacements before I throw them away, but I'm sure they do. So valve cover came pretty clean on the first couple minutes of the vat. I'm gonna take these guys, pry them all off, get these covers off here so you can clean underneath. If you get these valve covers vatted, basically all this stuff you really can't get out from behind there, and they'll look clean, and then the hot oil will come and the heat and everything, and it'll run it back down into your brand new engine. So take these guys off, see what's behind them. So here's behind it, still pretty dirty. There's 2 layers on this one. Bottom plate, the top plate, and then this guy looks clogged. Someone mentioned that in the comments on the last video. I guess that's probably part of the problem, so get all this guy cleaned out. And then when we put that back in, hopefully we can just crimp those things back in with a punch and hope that it stays. Alright, so block came out pretty clean on the first run of the vat. So there's a little bit of a ridge at the top. So go ahead and we'll bore these out. Go to the next size up. Still got to look for pistons. Still got to look for parts. Go ahead and clean all the gaskets, everything like that. It'll get cleaned one more time. Or a lot of stuff will get cleaned before assembly. All the other parts are inside the vat. So head is definitely the worst part. Filthy, filthy, filthy. So I got to get all these lifters out. These will get replaced. And then this is the tool that I use to take cylinder heads apart. The professional clamp systems are super expensive. I think this was like 75 bucks. And you could assemble cylinder heads too. I've assembled cylinder heads with it. So take this out. It's got a little magnet. Hopefully it'll work on these. These are odd shaped retainers. So yeah, I've got another video on my channel. I just did a Toyota RAV4 V6. I've got a video of how I clean cylinder heads here and get them looking brand new by the time they're done. So I'm gonna get this thing torn apart and get it in the vat. So running the vat, one thing you got to make sure, so there's the first run where you can see that the jets are pointing this way. So it never really, it just kind of skims off the top. So I'm going to try to reset this thing to point right at those jets when it passes by. That'll help it clean quite a bit. So adjust this thing around, flip it over, and run it in a few 5-minute cycles, and then work on it. So I just let these things run. I work on the rest of the parts, do other jobs, and then eventually I sit down and actually spend some time cleaning these. But it's good to get the vat to do most of the work to begin with. So I'm going to try to get this thing facing at the jets. Kind of like that. Alright, definitely getting better. So keep at it. I might let it soak overnight and restart tomorrow. I'm going to end this video at tear down, a little bit of cleanup, and on the next video I'll do the machine work, get all that ready, get the cylinder head cleaned up, possibly assembled, polish the crank, and start assembling this thing. Yeah, so like and subscribe, and follow along if you guys are interested. We'll see you on the next video.